When I tie tiny flies, I like to use half hitches to tie off my flies. But my half hitches haven't been holding. So I got out my Ashley book of knots and investigated what a half hitch is, how to tie it with a half hitch tool, and what other knots that you can tie with it.
What is a half hitch knot? Well, a half hitch knot is simply an overhand knot, and we'll make that. With one of the lobes, like this guy, tied around the hook shank. That would be a half hitch. To make a half hitch, take your tool, just like we've been taught, go around it, make that twist, and then go under again and over. So you've done 2 twists, you can see right there. Slide that onto the hook, and you can see our overhand knot with one of the lobes over the hook shank. And that's a half hitch. You can see our overhand knot with one of the lobes over the hook shank. The half hitch is a good knot then to finish off our flies. It has a knot that's tied upon itself around the hook shank. What we've been taught on how to make a half hitch with a half hitch tool is like this. Make a loop around our half hitch tool, then give it a twist, and then slide it onto the hook shank. Now what you can see, it is not a half hitch. It is actually an over-under knot. See if we can change the angle here. So what is happening here is our tying thread is coming off the hook. It is then going over the hook shank, under the hook shank, and under our tying thread, thus making an over-under knot, and when tightened, looks like that. Now this is a good knot for saving your work when you're doing intermediate steps. It's also a good knot that if you want to prepare your fly to use the rotary vise, you can do this knot, bring it out to the side, and rotate your hook. As long as there's tension on this end, this knot will stay. But to finish your fly off, you can see you would cut it right there. It has then a very short tag that's held in place by the knot itself. But without any tension on it, you can see it'll quickly come unraveled. And that's the problem I've been having on my tiny flies. That's why I investigated what's going on. This knot technically is called a 2 half hitch. Us fly tiers would call it a double half hitch. Now this is the best double half hitch that you can tie because the 2 hitches are around the tying thread. So we make our twist like that, just like we would if we were going to make our hitch. Come up underneath and over. That would give us a half hitch. Now if we do one more over like that, we'll now have our 2 half hitch, and the hitches will be over the tying thread. We'll slide that off. Now I won't make it tight this time because we want to take a look at what's going on. So expanding the knot out, you'll see our figure 8 in there. You'll see our overhand knot, and then you'll see our second hitch right here over the tying thread. That gives us our 2 half hitch knot or a double half hitch knot. Now we can pull this tight, and you'll see our 2 half hitches there, or double half hitch knot. Another knot that you might be curious about using our half hitch tool is to do the 2 wraps and then do our turn, and then do one more turn and put it on the hook. Now you can see from this is a very good knot, a very strong knot. It has 2 loops around there. This is called a 2-round turn and a half hitch knot. Another knot that is being taught using our half hitch tool, people are calling the double half hitch. And that is being taught to do this. You take a loop, and then you do a second loop, and then with our twist, we put that onto the hook shank. In practicality, that isn't a half hitch. It's not a double half hitch. It's being called a double loop single hitch. You can see it looks just like the single hitch that we did, the over-under knot that we did, with an extra loop in it. So a looped hitch knot is sometimes referred to this, or a looped single hitch. And it really isn't that great of a knot. It's not much better than just the single hitch that we showed before. In fact, it's actually worse. You can see it's not even tightened down at that point.